Hi everyone, it's India. My chosen area is Mosman Bay, which we are overlooking at the moment. I'm currently sitting in Harnett Park, which overlooks the bay. This area was first discovered by colonists in 1789 with the first fleet. They saw its potential for its use as a careening area. Careening is the practice of turning a ship on its side, taking it out of the water and cleaning its bottom for no shells and particles and all of that, also repairing the ship in general. And they picked it was suggested, Mosman Bay was suggested to them by the local Indigenous people here, the Boregal people, who knew what they needed to do. They communicated somehow their need to clean the boat, and the Boregal people suggested Mosman Bay because of its deep waters, which was what careening needs, and then also because of its sheltered bay, so the ships were going to be quite protected from waves and from severe weather. So that is why this area was suggested. 1789 was when the colonisers first discovered this area, but it's been in use for tens of thousands of years before that by the Boregal people, the local Indigenous people, who's used this area as their home. They would live in the sheltered caves which surround the bay. It's a very rocky area and densely shrubbed as well. They would live in the caves because it's nice and sheltered there, and there are rock cave paintings around that prove this and show that they used this area for tens of thousands of years. And then they would also fish in the bay itself was their livelihood. All the food and the drinking sources as well were around the bay. There was a local a stream which led into the bay which was their main water source, and that was also used by the colonisers for a time. After the Sirius, the flagship for the First Fleet, was careened here, and after it was here for about 9 months, about 9 months, while it was being repaired and cleaned, and then after that it set sail again to bring more colonists back for the UK to move here. And this area, Mosman Bay, sort of it wasn't used by the colonisers again for a while until 1830, which it was then bought up by a guy called Archibald Mosman, who saw in it its potential to be utilised for the whaling industry, which was very profitable industry at the time. Archibald Mosman set up many sort of whaling structures that they needed, the whaling station itself, and then also a lot of the storehouses, one of which is still here today, the only one left, and it's said to be, or presumed to be, the oldest maritime structure in Sydney, which is called the Barn. It's a very beautiful old building which was used to store the oil from the whales, spare sails for the ships as well, and then other supplies. Another reason Archibald Mosman and the government chose Mosman Bay as a great area to build the whaling station was because of its isolated location from the city, which they thought there would be less distractions for the whalers, less women, less problems, less thievery, less problems in general, because it was boat access only at the time, and the sailors were here 5-6 days a week, and they would sail back on Sunday, had Sunday off, would come back Monday through Saturday, and they lived here and worked here. What the government and Archibald didn't account for was that the dense shrubbery surrounding it and the isolation would also attract nefarious types, pirates, and criminals in general, people dealing illicit substances. They were often found here in the shrubbery surrounding dealing illicit substances. Also, there are accounts of pirates having been here and hiding. There are all this kind of folklore about the bay, and there have been hidden treasure around. There were also multiple murders that were unaccounted for, but in local folklore can be attributed to the pirates. Though it's quite a densely populated suburb to this day, very few people know of the actual history of the suburb, where it gets its name after the wealthy merchant Archibald Mosman who came from Scotland. There's also Sirius Cove nearby, which is of course named after the ship the Sirius, which was careened here. So there are much colonial history tied up in Mosman, and Mosman Bay in particular, that people don't know about. Also the whaling history, despite there actually being a whale on the Mosman emblem, people don't really know, a lot of people don't know why that's there, and that Mosman actually has a whaling past, and that this suburb has lots of colonial ties, and we're actually a great support in furthering colonialism with the profits that were gained from the whaling industry, and also the polluting of the bay, which sort of pushed out the local Indigenous people and made it an easier foothold for the colonisers.